Yo, what's up? It's Aaron here with Aria and Phoebe Rose. Thank you so much to everyone who supported me and my daughters over this last 6 months to a year. So real short, because I've already done like 10, 15 minutes of ramblings, and I realized, you know what? We need to do a 3 to 4 part series breaking down the entire divorce case. We're not even going to touch the relationship before the divorce started. We already know that failed, and that would take probably 2 years to break down, and I really prefer not to go through those receipts just yet, all right? I've done enough legal work. Point being, the reason I filed a petition for writ of mandamus is that I have, while undergoing Phoebe's brain cancer crisis and raising the children by myself with no financial help from any of the parties who should be helping involvement, including my ex and their family, instead of helping me, they've been actively trying to sabotage me for going on 6 months now. Anything they can say about me, any lie and any unsubstantiated claim they can make about me, they will make. It's basically Pretty Little Liars meets Jerry Springer. It is pathetically embarrassing. And the problem is, the other party in this divorce case, I ain't worried about them. I can handle that 6 ways from Sunday. Not a big deal. Point is, it got to the point where the court authorities and the court itself were enabling misconduct. Misconduct that directly affects Aria and Phoebe. And they're just going to ignore everything that I have been through, everything that the children have been through, everything that we have been through, and just help the opposing party limp across the finish line, including ignoring blatant lies regarding relevant child safety issues. But while ignoring that, I guess it also makes sense that they would ignore my documented care and investigative results from when I had 2 CPS investigations done under me, which I have proof of were done only in retaliation, not in the best interest of the children, just despite the divorce court ruling. And the funny thing about it was, the divorce court itself radicalized them, gave them the Hansel and Gretel breadcrumb trail to go sue me for custody in another court. And then I have open admittance and a confession to all of these claims being true. And unfortunately, at least verifiably in one court, which is the divorce court, they are choosing to ignore it. We're ignoring my request for relief, sanctions, and remedy, and my motion to compel. They're going to ignore all that. They're going to ignore the misconduct. They're going to ignore the lies. They're going to ignore the blatant collusion, conflict of interest, and child safety issues, including manipulation. They're going to ignore all that and just, I don't know, kumbaya, my lord, kumbaya. Listen, this ain't no kumbaya. We're not doing that, not on my watch. Not when I'm the only one keeping this tent up. I'm the pole holding this tent up, all right? This is my party, and I'm going to cry if I want to. Or in this case, pray. Pray to the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals for relief and that they review this matter. And like I've already let the divorce court know, and like I've already let the juvenile case know, like I reserve the right to keep this above y'all's heads, because I know what I've done, and we all know what you've done, and more importantly, what you've ignored. So regardless of if the merits, if my documented, well, thoroughly laid out petition is heard or not, or they choose to deny it, because that's the thing. If you play games, you have to be prepared to lose. So, in the event that I do lose and the petition is not seen, I've already let the divorce court know. I am operating under protest and duress, and I already know, at least by conscience, what I've done. And they can't say the same for themselves. But now, it's all going to start coming out public. And once the Alabama Court of Civil Appeals has had their chance to review my petition, I'm going to start releasing more information, which is already public record. You can look it up on alicourt.com. It costs like $10 to see the case file. You can see any document I've filed. You can see any document that my ex has filed. It's all public record. So I'm going to start releasing it and doing a thorough step-by-step breakdown of everything that I've gone through and everything that my children have gone through and everything that we have suffered and all the misconduct that we've had to put up with by other parties that, quite honestly, if they just Thanos snapped and disappeared, heck, I don't even think we'd notice that they were gone, because they haven't done a single thing to contribute. All they've done is actually been a ball and chain around me and my children's ankles, okay? When we're trying to progress, move forward, do better things with our lives, instead of trying to get on that, they're going to try to sabotage the one person who's actually doing the work. As David Goggins said, actually one guy who's carrying the boats. We're going to sabotage him. We're going to ignore him. We're going to ignore his motions. We're going to ignore his sanctions. We're going to ignore his pleadings. We're going to ignore his requests. And actually, as it was said in open court, I don't care. Judge looked me dead in my eyes and said, I don't care. Well, guess what, buddy? I don't care either. And I don't care to protect your name, because you surely haven't protected my interest or my children's best interest. You know, the one thing that a divorce court in Alabama is supposedly designed to do, and a GAL is appointed to do, with a GAL who's never even met the minor children. But hey, on the bright side, because I like to end things on a bright note, because quite frankly, I can dog walk everyone in that case. I'm not worried about it. Point being, I actually got to reach out. And I haven't verified this yet, but I got to reach out from a very high up person. Some might even call him our current sitting president of the United States of America. And he left me a very thoughtful message regarding my case. And I didn't even think he would have seen it, you know, but it's good to know I have friends in high up places, or at least I think I do. Again, I haven't verified this, so don't take this comment under penalty of perjury, because it's not been verified, which is better than anyone else in this court case can say.
Hello, is this Aaron? Tremendous guy, tremendous father. I've been hearing all about you. My son Baron told me you're not as tall as him, but great beard. The ladies love it. They'll grab you by the beard if you let them. He filed a petition. People are saying it's incredible. Some say it's the best they've ever seen. I'm not saying that, but they are. And now listen, I also heard what happened with your judge. Total disgrace, this guy. He looked you dead in the eye and said, I don't care. Who does that? I'll tell you who. Somebody who maybe took his bar exam at a Panda Express, okay? I'm just saying there are rumors. I don't know if they're true or not. And the GAL, a disaster. They say she's been seen playing golf with Chinese nationals at Topgolf. Dane, Alabama, very suspicious, not a good look. You can't trust these people. They're not using American bars anymore. They're using Chinese bars, La Polity. General So's and no due process. Sad, but you, Aaron, you stood up. You fought back. That petition? Yes, that petition is going to make fatherhood great again. And with guys like you on the front line, we're going to make justice great again. Due process. Great again fatherhood. The best it's ever been. Believe me,